Hi everyone, my name is Marissa Herrera Kane. I am a freshman at CSUMB. I am a teledramatic arts and tech major, and I'm also a special effects makeup artist in training. And I'm here to tell you guys, or explain to you, what I use how to make a basic zombie. Okay, so what I use are some basic things. Like, the first thing I do is I start off with like a primer, like a foundation primer that definitely kind of allows everything to set, because I'm just doing like a basic eyeshadow and eyeliner. I'm not going to work with like liquid latex or anything like that. But what I use is a primer. I just use Prime Time by Bare Minerals, or you can use anything you want. But the primer will help the makeup stick and it won't run, especially if you're like running around or sweating, and it just, it won't look good. Another thing on top of that is that I use like a liquid makeup, like a concealer, to help like set the skin tone, make it even a little bit. It just helps make the colors pop a little bit more, and it makes it look a little bit more realistic. So that way it's not just like an outline of like a red. So that way it'll be easier to blend in with the skin tone. I also recommend using like a face powder that it doesn't matter what brand you use, and that matches your skin tone. So that way the powder will help like catch any makeup, and it'll help it it'll help it blend into the skin a lot easier than just applying it. I use for shading like around the bruising area, if you do like scars or something. I always go for like I use really cheap color palettes. Like I use like just a basic black for the shading, obviously. And then for like the spotting around it, for the redness, I use a deep red. It's like this one right here. You can use it's like a blush. This kind of stuff is a blush. You can use anything you want as long as it'll blend into the skin tone really easily. That's the key thing. You don't want it looking like bam red, like some kind of doll or something. I also use just basic blues. Like I use this for some bruising, maybe some deeper like shading effects in like around the red to kind of give it like a more realistic effect, because bruises turn blue. And for some, I also add in like a dark purple around it to give it a real to kind of catch the blue and pick it up and make the red look a lot more like it just jumps off the face and stuff like that. That's what you want. I use just some basic like deep red lip gloss to for the inside, or for like spotting, to make it like a blood look. Just something without using the fake blood or anything like that. So that way it doesn't run, but it still gives that like glossy, wet look. Now for brushes, I just use a bunch of little disposable brushes. These have the bristles stuck together because I've used it so much. But get a lot of disposable ones, because if you're working with the stuff that you do, you never know, like, you may just want to just throw it out, because I doubt you're going to use these again. For what I use for my zombies, it's really tricky to work with, but if you want to do it, then go for it. I use liquid latex. This is a tinted liquid latex, so it matches my skin tone, and it gives it a little bit more of a blending effect without me having to worry about it. I suggest getting clear, because it'll help dry into the skin tone, and you won't have to worry about that. And this stuff, you gotta be really careful, because it's got a really powerful odor, but it does give a really good effect, and it will last a really long time. You can like play with it, peel with it, and make it look grungy and stuff like that. But I found this stuff online, and I think that's the only place you can find it right now. I don't know of any stores that you can actually go in and get this stuff at. But that's if you want to do that. And I really highly recommend getting a disposable brush for liquid latex, because if you use it, it's going to end up looking like this, and all the bristles are like stuck together. It doesn't look pretty. And then finally, the Kuteg Rot is the fake blood. Now, I made this myself. I just use basic corn syrup, and then some red food coloring, just basic stuff you can find at Target, Safeway, anywhere, and anywhere that sells groceries. And you mix this together. Corn syrup has got like that thick gooiness to it. It like gives the effect of blood, because blood is thick. And then the coloring is to give the color. And in the end, if you add you just add a lot of red. I didn't add any blue, so to give it more of like a purpley look. But I like the deep red a lot more. And when you gotta be really careful with working with fake blood though, because it runs, and food coloring will stain. any clothing that you're wearing. So be really cautious about that. But when it dries, it still gives that wet look, but you can touch it, you can move it around and stuff, and it looks really cool. So yeah, that is what I use to make a basic zombie. And if you have any more questions, just feel free to post on the wall, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks. See you there.